Donald John Trump, born June 14, 1946, Queens, New York. Son of Fred Trump, a successful real estate developer. Sounds simple enough. But this was no ordinary childhood, this was Trump's training ground. Young Donald attended New York Military Academy, a strict environment. It instilled discipline, and a certain flair for the dramatic. From there, it was on to Fordham University, then the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania, an economics degree, the building blocks of a businessman. But let's be honest, Trump's real education wasn't in a classroom, it was at the dinner table, listening to his father, learning the art of the deal, the hustle, the unwavering belief in oneself. These lessons would become the foundation of Trump's empire, an empire built on real estate, on casinos, on a carefully crafted persona. After graduating, Trump joined the family business, the Trump Organization. It was 1971. He quickly rose through the ranks. But Donald wasn't content to simply maintain his father's legacy. He wanted more. He craved the spotlight. He set his sights on Manhattan, a playground for the rich and powerful. Trump Tower, a monument to his own ambition, a symbol of his success. And success for Trump was about more than just money. It was about image, about being seen as a winner. He plastered his name on everything, buildings, casinos, even a board game. The bigger the better, the gaudier the more Trumpian. He became a master of self-promotion, a relentless salesman, and the American public ate it up. The year was 2004. Reality TV was booming. Enter The Apprentice, a show that promised to find the next great business mind. And who better to lead the charge than Donald Trump? With his booming voice and signature hairstyle, Trump became a household name. He wasn't just a businessman anymore. He was a television personality, a cultural icon. "You're fired," became his catchphrase. His blunt delivery and ruthless decision-making made for compelling television. Week after week, viewers tuned in. They watched as contestants clawed their way to the top, and they witnessed Trump's unique brand of leadership. Little did they know, this was just the beginning. The reality show was about to become a reality. 2015. A year that would mark the beginning of a seismic shift in American politics. Donald Trump descends a golden escalator, a moment that would be etched in the annals of political history. He announces his candidacy for President of the United States. The crowd roars, the media goes wild. Could this be real? The spectacle was both mesmerizing and polarizing. Was this a publicity stunt? Many were skeptical, dismissing it as another one of Trump's grandiose ventures. Or was this the start of something truly unprecedented? The questions lingered in the air, as people tried to make sense of this unexpected turn of events. Trump's campaign was unconventional, to say the least. He eschewed political correctness. He made outrageous promises. He spoke in a language that was raw and unfiltered. He attacked his opponents relentlessly, showing no mercy in debates and public appearances. He tapped into a vein of anger and frustration among a segment of the American public. His message resonated: "Make America Great Again." A simple slogan, yet profoundly impactful. But it spoke to a deep-seated desire for change, a yearning for a different direction, a new path forward, for a return to a bygone era, an era that many nostalgically remembered, whether it was real or imagined, an era that may or may not have actually existed. The promise of a return to greatness was alluring. Trump's rallies were unlike anything seen before. They were electrifying, drawing massive crowds. They were part political event, part rock concert. The energy was palpable, the excitement contagious. His supporters cheered his every word. They hung on his every promise, every declaration. They embraced his outsider status. They saw him as a maverick, a disruptor. They believed he was the one to shake up Washington, to drain the swamp, as he famously put it. The 2016 election was set to be a battle like no other. Section 5. The Trump Presidency, Policies and Controversies, January 20, 2017. Donald J. Trump is sworn in as the 45th President of the United States. The world watched in anticipation and trepidation as the businessman and reality TV star took the highest office in the land. The unthinkable had happened. The outsider was now the ultimate insider. His supporters were ecstatic, believing he would bring the change he promised. Trump's presidency was a whirlwind of activity and controversy. From the very beginning, he moved quickly to implement his agenda. He enacted sweeping tax cuts. These cuts were hailed by his supporters as a boon for the economy, but critics argued they disproportionately benefited the wealthy. He appointed conservative judges to the Supreme Court. This move solidified a rightward shift in the judiciary that would have lasting impacts for decades. He withdrew the United States from the Paris Climate Agreement. This decision was met with global condemnation, as many saw it as a step back in the fight against climate change. He imposed tariffs on goods from China. This move sparked a trade war that had wide-reaching effects on global markets and strained relations with one of the world's largest economies. His policies were often contradictory, his pronouncements baffling. One day he would praise a foreign leader, the next he would criticize them harshly. He engaged in Twitter feuds with celebrities and foreign leaders. His use of social media was unprecedented for a sitting president, often causing diplomatic headaches. He alienated allies and emboldened adversaries. His America First policy often left traditional allies feeling abandoned and adversaries feeling emboldened. He faced accusations of obstruction of justice and abuse of power. These accusations led to numerous investigations in a deeply divided nation. He was impeached by the House of Representatives, twice, the first for abuse of power and obstruction of Congress, the second for incitement of insurrection. Throughout it all, Trump remained defiant. He attacked the media, calling them the enemy of the people. He dismissed his critics as fake news. This phrase became a rallying cry for his supporters, and a point of contention for his detractors. He claimed to be the victim of a witch hunt. This narrative resonated with his base, who believed he was being unfairly targeted by the establishment. His supporters stood by him. They saw him as a champion of their values and a fighter against a corrupt system. They believed he was fighting for them, against the establishment, against the elites, against the swamp. To them, he was a hero, a symbol of resistance against a system they felt had long ignored their needs. Section 6. The Bitter End. Trump's 2020 defeat and its aftermath. The 2020 election was one of the most contentious in American history. The nation was deeply divided and the stakes were incredibly high. Trump faced off against former Vice President Joe Biden. The debates were heated, and both candidates presented starkly different visions for the future of America. The COVID-19 pandemic loomed large, casting a shadow over the entire election process. The virus had already claimed hundreds of thousands of lives and disrupted daily life. The economy was in turmoil, with businesses shuttering and unemployment rates soaring. Many Americans were struggling to make ends meet. Trump campaigned on his record, touting his administration's achievements and promising a swift economic recovery. He promised to keep America great, rallying his base with fervent speeches and bold claims. Biden, on the other hand, pledged to restore normalcy and unite the country. He emphasized empathy, experience, and a return to traditional governance. In the end, Biden emerged victorious, winning both the popular vote and the Electoral College. But Trump refused to concede, alleging widespread voter fraud without substantial evidence. He claimed the election was stolen, igniting a movement among his supporters to stop the steal. He filed numerous lawsuits, all of which were dismissed by the courts due to lack of evidence. On January 6, 2021, a mob of Trump supporters stormed the United States Capitol, an unprecedented attack on American democracy. They sought to prevent Congress from certifying Biden's victory, leading to chaos and violence. The insurrection shook the nation, leaving a lasting impact on the American psyche and political landscape. Trump was impeached for a second time, this time for incitement of insurrection, making him the first president in history to be impeached twice. He was acquitted by the Senate, but the trial further deepened the nation's divisions. But his legacy was forever tarnished, leaving a complex and controversial chapter in American history. Section 7. The Crypto King, Trump's foray into digital assets. In the aftermath of his presidency, Trump retreated to his Mar-a-Lago resort. He remained a vocal critic of the Biden administration. He hinted at a possible run for president in 2024. And then, he did something unexpected. He launched his own cryptocurrency, Trump Coin. It was a move that surprised many. Was this a desperate attempt to stay relevant, or was Trump onto something? Cryptocurrency was becoming increasingly mainstream. Bitcoin had soared in value. Could Trump Coin be the next big thing? Only time would tell. But one thing was certain. Donald Trump was never one to shy away from a business opportunity, even if it meant embracing the very technology he had once dismissed. Section 8. Trump 2024, a potential comeback? The speculation continues. Will he or won't he? Donald Trump has not ruled out a run for president in 2024. His supporters are eager for his return. They see him as the savior of the Republican Party, the only one who can make America great again. His opponents are horrified at the prospect. They fear his return would further divide the country and could potentially lead to the end of American democracy. The 2024 election is still 2 years away. A lot can happen between now and then. But one thing is for sure. Donald Trump will continue to be a force in American politics, for better or for worse. Section 9, Trump's legacy, a polarizing figure in American history. Love him or hate him, there's no denying that Donald Trump has left an indelible mark on American history. He shattered political norms, he exposed deep divisions in American society, he challenged the very foundations of American democracy. His presidency was a time of turmoil and upheaval, but it was also a time of great change. Only time will tell what Trump's true legacy will be, but one thing is for certain, he will be remembered as one of the most consequential presidents in American history.